Today we're going to talk about how to avoid 3 common realtor mistakes. All these years in this business have given me the pleasure of coaching and mentoring hundreds of agents, and there are 3 common mistakes I see a lot of realtors making. Realtor mistake number 1, they spend more time learning than prospecting. Now, before I explain this one, let's be clear. Prospecting doesn't have to be that intimidating door-knocking stuff. There are many forms and everyone can find what they're comfortable with. Also, let me make it clear that I know learning is good. Yes, an agent should learn as much as possible to be successful. We should always be improving our skill set, but it cannot come at the expense of prospecting. When I was new to this business, I'd sit down at my desk each morning and I'd ask myself, what can I do right now that will make the cash register ring as soon as possible? That's still some pretty good advice. I should probably get back to doing that even more than I do now. Learning over prospecting is something even experienced agents are sometimes susceptible to. I think this happens for 2 reasons. First, it's an excuse not to prospect, and classes and videos somehow feel easier to people. Second, they lack confidence because they're new or underexperienced and are hoping that that next workshop or certification, designation, conference, or YouTube video will give them what they need to have confidence and therefore be successful. Here's the best advice I can share with you on this. You'll learn how to prospect better and faster by prospecting than you will from anything else. Now, what about new agents who don't know what they're doing yet? Even new agents should be spending much more time prospecting than consuming content about being a real estate agent. I usually recommend to agents a target ratio of 25% learning to 75% prospecting. When the prospecting has produced clients, the ratio will change a little, but the working with clients stuff should come from the 25% earmarked for learning, not from the prospecting. Experienced agents are always learning and improving, but the ratio for them becomes even more about prospecting. They often dedicate something in the neighborhood of only 5 to 10% of their time learning and the rest of their time prospecting. And that sheds some light on why they are the ones that are the most successful. Realtor mistake number 2. They don't know the contract. Now, you're probably part of a board or association that gives you standardized forms, and these are very helpful. One of the main benefits of being with the association is these forms. They make our job easier and more efficient. But don't let those fill-in-the-blank forms be a crutch or an excuse for not knowing the details of the purchase agreement and how it works. I get asked questions all the time by agents, and sometimes by agents who have been in the business a long time, questions that are answered as clear as day by the purchase contract. If you're going to choose just one document or form to really learn about and really know, make it the purchase agreement. I teach a CE class that focuses only on the purchase agreement, and I know that sounds really boring, but it's not. People love it because they see that becoming familiar with the contract makes them more money. I'll even make the brazen statement that if you truly knew and understood the purchase contract, you really wouldn't need very much other training at all. Realtor mistake number 3, they don't know what gets them hired. We've all heard that amusing anecdote. Even a blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while. I see a lot of agents who rely more on luck or just good fortune to get hired. In reality, they don't know how they got the nut or how they can get it again. To be successful in this business in the long run, you have to know how to get hired. So what is it that actually causes someone to want to hire you rather than the billion other agents they know? I have lots of training and content on this, and we don't have time to unpack it all now. But the first step is to understand the psychology of getting hired. The bottom line is that people hire a realtor they believe will get the job done for them. I call this getting from point A to point B. Now, obviously, there's a ton that goes into this, but the general truth is that getting hired hinges off of this simple concept of point A to point B. For some clues on how to improve on this for yourself, Spend some time asking yourself these two questions. First, what part of the process going from point A to B do I know that the potential client doesn't know? And two, what part of the process does the client know that I don't know? When you know the answer to these two questions, you are miles ahead of your competition. Okay, Realtors, I hope this was helpful. Stop making these 3 mistakes and it will take your career to the next level.